Okay, pretty sure I got it set up. The weird thing about this is, and I'm going to show you what I was working on. Now, same settings through the whole thing. Can you see how bad that got? I don't know what the deal is with this machine or what I'm doing wrong. I don't get it. I don't get it. Do you see that? That is awful. So I sat down at my sewing machine, and I am just so bad at doing these corners. I fought and fought and fought, but every time you're starting all over again on the corners, and I make a mess of it, and there's fraying. So I've got to get this to work. Now, this was the one that was going to be the bread cover, and it's not an absolute necessary thing. So it can go. In the book, let me get the book out. As soon as I find it, there we go. In the book, when I get to the part I can actually read. All right. No, no. Skip stitches. Stitches are not uniform. Thread stitches are not adjusted properly. So, for the rolled hemming stitch, to do a rolled hem, this pin, it fits right in here, okay? And you take that out. Whole reason I bought this, I had a My Home that was, yes, 20 years old, but it still works great. But it was so hard for me to set it up to do anything other than just, and threading it. Now it opened on this side, which I loved. This doesn't. My son had to literally take the screws out to clean it out because it gets packed inside and you can't get it out. Whereas the My Home, this whole side opened up and I could just literally blow it right out the other side. Made a mess of my sewing room, but it was clean. And like I said, it was, well, actually it's 25 years old, come to think of it, and it still works great. I think I'm going to go and get it out of my son's storage unit and bring it back home because this one is really just driving me nuts. Its tensions never stay. So you struggle to get it to the set to where it needs to be to do something. And then it just goes out. And I can only use this cheap thread. I bought some better threads thinking they would work better, and it wouldn't even, it just big huge loops with that. Oh, it was awful. So yeah, it is just, the kind of luck I particularly have. Everybody else has no problem whatsoever. I just really wish I wouldn't have. I'd saved up some money and I put it onto this thinking this is going to be so much easier because I can't ever see that doggone loop to get that other thread, and I'll use the serger so much more, and I'm getting ready to throw it right out the window. For fine materials, which this is, this was some Walmart cheapie when they first opened up the superstore here because we had just a little bitty one, and they built a new building across the road, and they had all this dollar a yard fabrics, and as you can see right through it. It's very thin. It's very stiff, but once I wash it, it's not quite as stiff. It works for certain things, for others not at all. But mostly I've been using it. Like I did make my sister a bag out of this with all the stabilizer behind it. It didn't matter. And out of this, her favorite color is orange. It doesn't matter. All the same, it says do the needle thread at 4. Well, that one's not. You take out this needle. Do the needle thread at 4. And now it shows adjustments in here. So this one is a 5, and this one is a 7, right? So Let's pop this up. This, I put it down to there. I'm going to just, yeah, it's getting closer and closer to that turkey. Whatever. This I've got on the 0.7, and this is just barely above the R. When I had it on the R, it went nuts. I could try it on me. Why do I only have 2 threads? What happened? And I can't ever get that to stay in its little home. Come on. Just pop. Really? Really? Stay. Put that back up. I'm missing a thread. What thread is it coming? We've got 1, 2, this one. Ah, very, very close to the needle. All right. Let's just put those on there a little bit. Okay. Put that back. Tray. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. All right. Yeah, I put a magnet on top and taped it into place to hold these on it. And when I take that other needle out, I put that on there also, because otherwise I lose it, and I do not want to step on it, and I do not want my cats to step on it and get hurt or anything. So we're just going to keep going around this thing until we finally get it to work. And we will hope okay. Now see, it's perfect. It looks absolutely perfect at this point. I'm going to go ahead and do rounded corners on it, because doing the squared corners is kind of a pain in the butt. I can do a squared corner since this one's already massacred. I will show you how. Go to the end. I roll my needle up, pick my foot up, and slide it off the back. And then I put it back in. Now, the thing is, you don't want to cut those threads with the knife. So, slip it back in. Because I had already rounded that corner, it's going to look a little like that at this point. What I would suggest you do is, if you're not wanting a rounded corner, see, that's going to come to there, so I'm going to need to come up to there, is snip it down a little bit, because you can't get those threads up under the knife. You want to slide it off and right up against it. There is nothing quiet about a serger. I did get this mat. I think I ordered it from Amazon or something. And I think they called it a vibration mat. But I just did a search for serger mat, and it keeps it from crawling across my desk. All those years I suffered with my machine, and I pull it back, and it has little suction cups, but still, if you crank it out, and I do have a lead foot, even when I'm driving, my sons always say, "Ma, the speed limit is..." Okay, whatever. today it's being nice, and we're going to appreciate you for it. You're a good girl. We love you. All right. So, oh, look at that. Where's my, I see a thread on his nose. I've got my glasses on now. I keep glasses everywhere and still don't bother to put them on. Had my eyes checked, and they told me other than needing reading glasses for close up, which is a natural thing, you have 20/20 vision for distance. My son kept telling me, "Ma, you're half blind. You got to get glasses." I'm not. I see everything. I'm just easily distracted. Oh, I forgot to do my little clip. Good thing this is just for me, huh? Pull it off. Slide it around. Hopefully I'll be able to get that thing to zero in a little bit more. Let's see if I can move this. It's right where my seat needs to be, so I'm not too sure how well that's going to go, but can I get closer? Will it show it? Whoa! Well, that didn't do any good now, did it? I can't tell. I got my reading glasses on and I still can't see. I think you can see it right here. So I pulled it off and turned it around, and I want that needle right there close to the end. And we will start it again. Let me snip this one. This is what I was talking about. Take it, snip it into it. See, it's all bumpy again. What the heck? Okay, I'm at the end. I pick it up. I slide it just a hair off because there's that pin down there. Not the big pin that we've removed, but there's still a little thing there. And you slide it off of that. Slide it back to the back. And I've trimmed in slightly. Now, believe it or not, I practiced this. You know what? All that weird looking stuff is because of the threads that were already there, and that knife was trimming them. Oh, glasses make my sinuses go nuts. I'm just a mess, aren't I? Whatever. I am what I am. Go right off the end, and I slow down because I don't want that thread breaking. Sometimes they break. Now, I do have a knot, but that was because of the way I started. And there's that one. So now we got a fresh one. Here is an actual napkin. I'm going to start farthest from, if I can get it in the camera. Can you eat? Oh, let's move it out. Back up. Okay. So my turkey's here, and I'm going to start in the opposite side. And this one's all squared still. The rest are all squared, so there shouldn't be a problem. You don't always have to pick up that foot. You can do this. When you get to the corner, you have to pick up the foot. But to slide your fabric in, I just do that. And I'm going to start just a couple of stitches past the end. And if you watch, see, there's a line in this plate. And that is actually the knife edge. So if you don't want to trim anything but, say, some fraying off, just use that as your guide. If you're wanting to do, say I wanted to follow this orange line, then I would move it over, and that's what these are for. I'm doing pants, and the pattern has a 5/8 inch seam, so I would follow the edge at here, and it'll just trim it up, because the needles are stationary. They never move from side to side. Yeehaw, it is working. Can I do it with speed? When I get close to the end, I slow down. I watch for it to get past it. I will move the needle to the up position, foot up, slide it off the pin, turn it, move it back so it's down, straight in, and forward some. There we go. Really? There we go. Off the pin, turn it, bring it back to the line, get the end. If you look real close at the back of the foot, you'll see a little pin sticking out, and that, let's roll the needle down so you can see. See, that's just that side of, the end of it is where the needle hits. So if you look at that, you can put your fabric to that, and boom, you're set. Shift your fabric around so it won't pull cockeyed. Oh, one of the threads broke. I'm sewing away. You don't watch your needles. See, that's the thing about a serger. One of them is just jumped its loop is what has happened. Ugh, these things are so messy. So messy. I love this tray, but see, it still doesn't hit it. There is a design flaw, I guess. So, yeah. See? That's the last one. It comes out. It happens. That one likes to break on both of my machines. So I'm going to guess that that's just nature of the beast. Now the thing about this machine, so instead of me having to open up this door and find that back looper, you pull this forward. Now I've got, you want to keep it all of this stuff. It's easier if you drop your blade down and just run it around this way. This one came out when I was trying to move those threads. You don't want it caught up underneath. You want this clean. So rethreading it is not a problem for that one at all. That one is easy. This one, even with the fact that they made it easier so that you can see, it'll pop out of that. And when it pops out of that, that's just it. My thread breaks. But this thing, while you're trying to get it in that, and you have to say every time, it almost threaded, but you've got to get it past that little thing right there. If it's not past that, it's not going to stay. Let's see. Fibers. Just wipe them on my pants. My pants are covered in a billion little threads. Oh, where did I set my... There. This has to be in front of everything. And this has a chart. It shows you everything. And it will show you to have that in a different placement. If it's not in that other placement, just make sure that you pull it like that. Ta-da! So everything is back where it's supposed to be. Oh, except the knife. My other one still has its original blade, and it really needed a new one. And I looked it up, and they wanted like $30 for the blade. I'm like, what? For one little blade? So my husband was, oh, I'm going to fix it. I said, you know, I have literally taken that machine and hid it in the back of closets and get so mad because you'd get it all threaded and the threads would break. Have it in that back looper just right, and I just would get so mad, and I barely ever used it because I could not ever get that doggone looper right. So I tend to, well, usually I use my foot, but since I'm talking, you're not going to hear me over the bang, 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 bang of the machine. So now the trick is trying to get it back in that spot. And I usually will just start all over for the side. But let's get the foot up out of the way here. You don't want to do that. So let's hope it stays threaded. I can't find my threads. Where's my tails? There we go. I like to hold the tails when it's first starting. All right. This really thin fabric might make a pretty decent napkin, but it's a bear to sew with. Now I trimmed those threads real close, and if you grab it, I have no fingernails, but if you grab one and you pull, it forces them to kind of knot. All right, watch out, cotton fabric. Beep. But Serger thread is polyester, so that I can do. All right, I pulled it off the end, up close. I want to get that to right there. The end of it, the thread base, is just barely back there because you don't want to start on the back side of that. You don't want to add more threads hanging off your corner. See how when you turn, you do end up with this little knot? This one I started a little farther in. This one I was too far back. If I do it where the pin is not at the very edge, then it should start a cleaner line. So I'm looking at it, and it shouldn't leaving a bulge. I just had to make sure the camera's still going. Broke the thread again. This is what I'm talking about. That one thread, it'll be the lower one. See? It's gone. It's still in that looper. So just literally shredded. What are you caught on? What are you? Why aren't you moving at all? It just won't pull through at all. Holy moly, come on. You got to get it behind that and into that, and it's supposed to hold it into place. I don't know what the deal is, and that's a new spool. But look at it. It's just shredding. Oh, well. It is what it is. Tweezers, I always just grab them because I have such a hard time. Now see how this thread is underneath here? Let's get it out, trim it all off. We're going to do this one more time. And then I'm going to give up on napkins for Thanksgiving, I think. Come on, screw it. Yay! Maybe my problem is that I'm usually sitting over here on this side. From this side, it's going in that hole just fine. If you can't get it to behave and be a little sturdier, just wet your fingers and tap the ends. And it gives it a rigidity, not a lot, but a little bit. And you just want to slide it behind that knife and in there, and now it's in place. I have never unthreaded my whole machine unless it was necessary. Now, this needs to be nice. You need to be nice. It's staying. Okay. Whew. I have threads everywhere. I am so close to the end of this one. Come on. I'm going to put it in. I'm not going right to that edge. I'm going to go back a little. And I'm going to drop that foot down. And hope for the best. See, this one can go fast, but it really is not a wise move. Just saying. Not for me. When I go all out, I break threads. So I have to control my lead foot. Now, see how that was where it started, that was where it ended, and they did not really meet. And I just tapped them, lock those threads in. I'm going to do that, bink, bink, every corner. Phew. All this work These will probably get thrown away. They'll get washed. I'll automatically put them right in the wash, and they'll come out, and I'll go, are we ever going to use these again? What? I use such cheap, flimsy fabric? Probably it'll look like caca afterwards. I don't know. We'll find out because I'm going to wash them first. I'm not putting that against my face until I've washed it. So, that is a rolled hem on my serger, and there is my little turkey. I see it's red. I'm just gonna, bing, come on, just a little bump. Did I get it? Got it to come up. All right. So, there is my little gobbler. Isn't he cute? So you have a fantastic Thanksgiving if you celebrate Thanksgiving. And if you don't, then just have a great day. Bye-bye, and thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you next time.